Hey Josh, how are you?
Hey man, sorry Rakesh about that.
No worries at all. No problem at all. How are you
Uh,
doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. And it's nice to talk to you, man. Where are you located at? I'm always curious where guys are at.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, okay, cool. When did you move there?
Uh, it's been almost 12 years now that I've been living here.
12
Yeah,
years. Do you
long
like it?
time.
I've never been to Atlanta. Do you like it?
It's a beautiful city. It's a mix of of high-flying city like New York as well as the laid-back city like Nashville or Memphis or something like that. So it's a mix of both. So I like it that way.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Awesome.
Close to Florida, so it's always fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm in San Diego. I don't know if you knew that. I've been here for a
I
while,
do.
but yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I tell guys all the time, maybe too much.
Yeah.
I love the city, but cool. Well, it's glad to talk to you. So the way this call is gonna go is just I want to just hear your journey, and I always I act like a student because it lets me learn, right? I don't want to assume I know it all, and so I want to learn from you, and what you did correctly, and so that's kind of just three parts of this call. I just want to know like what brought you to the program, like what was going on in your marriage that it was like I need to do something, where it's at now, and then what you did to get to where you're at essentially. And that's kind of
Okay.
the layout of what I want to know and learn from you. So yeah, that's what we'll do. So walk me through, I guess, like why you decided to trust some random stranger on the internet to save your marriage.
Desperation is the answer, I would call it. If you don't mind, I'll share you my screen. I've tried to put something together on paper and
Sure.
okay, if
Yeah,
you can
show
see.
me.
Post disabled participant sharing screen, if you could give me that permission.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hold on, give me 1 second. There you go.
Because I like one of the best things that I like about, your education is the visual thing. And I'm a very visual guy, so I love it that way. All right. Uh, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I do. Wow. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. So are you able to see this now, the PowerPoint version?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love this. I'm already in love with what you're doing. Go ahead, show
So
me.
I want to show you, this will answer all three of your questions, right? Where I started, what happened during the journey, and where we are right now. All three questions will be answered sort of. Now, what you see is the top line is my wife, and this is nothing numerical. Like this axis has got nothing to do. Like it's not that like she's a high context or she's at somewhere. This is just to display the distance between us. So the blue is men and the red is my spouse. So mid-December, to be precise, 16 December, I realized that my wife is having an affair with her friend. And of course, that broke the hell apart. Our distance increased. It was a disaster for me to learn about all those things, what happened, and all those things. So it was a blast. I mean, it was one of the worst day of my life. I can call it.
Wow.
Now, what happens during the first week? Disbelief, anger, frustration, craziness, any negative emotion that you could think of, went through that. In fact, I started tracking her, her phone. I started tracking her activities on phone, on a vehicle, everything that you could think of possibly, and not just tracking her, but even trying to dig any or every information that I could find in the house, in terms of any greeting cards or any gifts given by the other guy or whatever, and of course, that led to more distance being created between me and her, more mistrust, more problems, more issues, and I could see this go nowhere. And by the way, just to give you a background, Josh, before we delve into this, one thing I want to say is we have been married for 19 years, and I have we have two kids. One is 16 and one is a 8-year-old boy and a girl. So it's a long journey that we have gone through. And again, to give a background, I have been, one of your training video really connects with the situation between me and my wife, where I have been brought up where my I lost my dad at a young age, and I have been brought up, independently, and I was like more of within a shell, on a shore, uh, thinking that I can do anything and everything by myself. I don't need any support, kind of thing. So it's not that I've been a horrible husband or who tortures a wife or something like that, but I was never emotionally dependent on her. I was like just a I would say, provider portion for my spouse, never a protector portion, never emotionally connected to her, because there was never a need from my side to do that, because I knew that, as long as I can give her a good life and everything, everything should be fine. So that's a background. And plus, she always tells me that no matter how bad a husband you are a very good human being, because I do help a lot of people, not just society or charities and all, but even elderly people in my family and all those things. So that was a good part. She always respected me for that, but she always told me that you never connected to me as a husband, as a lover, as a partner, as a companion. And she did complain to me about that for 19 years. I ignored her completely. I said that all these things are BS. Like, they are
Right.
good and of marriage, when you are in love and expression, but then reality strikes. You come into the real world, you get kids, you have family, you have parents and everything to look after, job and career and everything. So we have to be more practical at that point in time. So I started ignoring all her emotional requests or connection. So long story short, it was me who created the situation. So I clearly tell her that I showed you the path where you have to go. It's me who have shown you that you have to take this path. And now what happened on that path is between you and that guy. I don't care about that. So, anyways, week one was, I lost I lost weight. I could not sleep. In fact, I could not sleep for
Completely
72
broken
hours.
down. Yeah.
It was horrible, and anything that I could think of that I need to get more information about what's going on between these two guys, I did that, as I told you, tracking and everything, because of and the biggest part was disbelief, out of everything, more than anger. It's like, I'm a nice person, I'm a nice human being. Why? And I did know that I was not the best of a husband, but definitely not so horrible that this can happen to me. So that disbelief was the biggest problem for me, that I may be a bad, husband, but it wasn't that horrible that this would happen to me. Anyways, fast forward, week two, as I told you, the gap increased. The, health issues, fights, mentally lost. I don't know what to do. The other guy is, he's rich, he's good looking, he can provide her what she needs in terms of comfort, in terms of love. And she did share me a lot of information about their relationship, and it was intense. In fact, she did tell me that the day I discovered that, they were about to tell me in near future, very near future, to disclose what's going on between the two, because she could not even take that pain of living a dual life, So she was also under stress, and she wanted to let me know. And she clearly told me that it's good that you came to know yourself about this thing. So I'm relieved about that. But anyways, on that day zero, she was of like 80% when I confronted her in the morning, that I came to know about this thing. She was like, I'm ready to leave if you want me to. I'm all. I mean, they had all the plans in place. I would say. About what the next steps are going to be and everything. So she was like 80% ready. She was just waiting for the right moment, either them telling me or me coming to know. And the only reason she told me that she stayed back, which I asked her later, was one is definitely the kids, because she could sense that. And Josh, I'll tell you, like, as bad a husband I am, I'm equally a great father. I mean, she tells me that on father scale, you are like, 12 on 10. On husband, you may be 2 on 10, but other
Yeah.
scale. So
Yeah.
she could see that my kids' attachment to me, it's not just about attachment, but the kind of upbringing I'm giving them, values and beliefs and all those things. They are very dependent on me. So anyways, it was that. And the second reason, she told me that there is a 19 years of bonding with you. We created something. I may not love you, but I do have respect for you at at some place. And I'm confused whether I should ruin this whole 19 years of things that we built together, because we literally started from zero. When we got married, my bank balance was zero. And we have built a house, we have now vehicles, we have cars, we have a comfortable life, I would call it, by the grace of God. So she's like, those are the two reasons. And I need 2 months to think what exactly is right for me. But in those 2 months, she asked me for peace, to give her space and everything, which I couldn't, because I was going crazy in week one and week two. I was like, why this is happening, and why, it happened to me. I'm tracking and everything. So, anyways, week two is, which is around, Christmas time, that I came across one of your videos. In fact, honestly, I was looking at YouTube, to look for some kind of help or guidance wherever I can find it. And I came across one of your videos, and I found it believing, like, what the way you said it, because everything other that I read, it was like, talk to your friends and family and all those things. Luckily, I did not talk to anybody, no friends, no family, nobody. I mean, it's my mom lives with me. Even she's not been told about anything. Even the kids are not told about anything that has happened. So it's just between me and her right now. So I did not do anything, and I got excited. I got on a call with one of your agents, and I'll be honest to you, Josh. I asked a very blunt and a dirty question to him. That is this one of the marketing schemes? Because I haven't done any research. I saw your video in the morning, evening. I scheduled the call, and I was desperate. I needed help, and I told him, like, me paying this big amount of money going in the drain, I'm ready for it also. But let me be a little bit sure that there's not like marketing we make on YouTube videos and all those things. And he said it's up to you to decide. We have many testimonials and all those things. He gave me some reassurance, but in complete transparency, I was not 100% confident about taking this leap, but I had no choice. I was feeling better only about this choice compared to the other options. So that's why I'm here. So I'm sorry, didn't mean to hurt you or
No,
anything.
you should have disbelief. Like, how could you know for sure, right? It's a big decision, and I think you
Right,
you listen to that voice of hope. I think, right?
right. So that's when I joined the course. As I said, week 2. Week 3, I did the basic stuff that you asked me to. Stop controlling, stop all negative things, anything that I could think of. I understood your things. I'll be honest to you, Josh. Principally, I understood a lot of things, what you said, about not connecting and all those things. That did help us come close together. But I'll be very honest, my mindset was not changed. So I knew I have to change my actions, which I did, but my mindset was not getting there. I mean, trust me, the other mistake I did, and again, this is something that you can share with, your other people, is I was listening to your videos while, commuting to work or while working out or something, and there was a lot of distraction. And I did acknowledge in one of my Facebook posts that learning to all my friends that never do that. If you are going through the course, give it a undivided attention, to not multitask. Because what I did is I picked up a lot of your information in bits and pieces. I could not, and to get the mindset right, you need to have the complete understanding. You need to have the undivided focused attention. So that was another mistake that happened. But anyways, week 3, basic stuff, it helped us get a little bit closer together. We started sleeping in the same room again, on the same bed, but nothing more than that. uh, and then, sorry, week 4, we started a little bit opening up. I started sharing my feelings with her, and she also got softened a little bit, which is like almost a 1 month. And luckily, during this time, there was no contact with the other person. So it just helped her to, calm down her emotions for the other guy. Calm down in the sense, basically, come to a controlled state, I would call it. What she was on day 0 was like crazy, I'm mad for this guy and everything. So week 4 was very important. We opened up one night, and she explained to me what got her here, what happened during the 19 years of marriage, how I ignored her, how I, did her whatever I did. And she was shocked to see that this person, which is me, whenever she found a fault in me or whenever she complained to me about anything, I would react negatively. I would overreact. I would be aggressive. I would do something, because as I told you, I'm a self-made man, and I have a lot of ego and pride in that thing. And anybody coming into my personal domain, I do not take it lightly. And she was shocked that night that I responded and I acknowledged it. And again, George, this is to an extent, your course helped me do that, because it helped me build that mindset that there is something more than this. Had I not had that background, I would have not understood her. I would have gotten defensive on that day itself. But it helped me. I took it lightly. I'm like, okay, we got a little bit closer, still not as close as what we were before the day of the discovery. We are getting there. Week 5. So what happened is, like, even after getting closer, she started opening up more to me, and I could see that, and I clearly told her that her name is Swati. So I told her, Swati, that, you know you are trying to fix this, but I'll tell you one thing: somewhere deep inside, I feel that my original Swati or my wife, who has been for 19 years, she is dead for me because you are not talking, you are not acting, you're not behaving what you are originally as a person. And I could sense that. So even if you're staying with me right now, I do not feel connected. Many times I've made not physical advances, but emotional advances to her to tell her, what I'm going through, what's going in my mind. Back in the days, 19 years, she would listen to me. She would cry with me if I cried. But now she's become very practical. She's like, "Why are you acting like a victim? Why are you taking this personally? Because this happened because of whatever the situation is." I'm like, no matter what, you know, at some point, and I literally told her that for me, my wife is gone. She's dead. I've literally gone into that self-realization. Now, whatever you decide, you want to stay with me for the kids, you want to stay with me and have a relationship with that guy, or whatever is the case, I'm ready to accept that. Still, it's not there, but that self-realization started creeping in that she's not the person whom I loved or whom I wanted for 19 years. So again, week 6, I went into sadness and depression that I lost my original wife, my love or whatever. And I literally went into depression, Josh. Uh, I could not sleep. In fact, for past 2 months, the best sleep I have got is 5 hours. That's it. That is the best sleep.
Wow.
And in two
Wow.
months, there have been at least 8 to 10 nights where I haven't slept for even a minute. And it's not that next day I'm crashing during the daytime or something. It's gone. It's gone. And I literally went into depression. I started smoking a lot. I started smoking 10 cigarettes a day and all those things because that is a point where I thought that my spouse is gone and whoever is living here is making sort of my life difficult because she looks exactly like my previous spouse. And she's trying as well to make things work and all those things. So I was on my state itself. I'm not moving closer to her, as you can see in the graph. She's trying to come close to me. She's realizing that this guy is in pain. He no matter whatever the reason is, whatever happened to him is not really right. I mean, he doesn't deserve this. So she's trying to understand me, trying to come close to me, but I'm in my zone. I'm non-reactive and all. So week 7, I went through a motivational video, and I can share you that link as well. It's amazing because I really was on depression, and for me, my bigger problem is more than getting my wife back. I wanted to work on my depression because I knew that my family is dependent on me, my kids are dependent on me, my son is in, he's a junior year. Next year he will be start applying to colleges, so he needs a lot of my time and attention. So I was like, went to a Mount State. I made a decision that this chapter of my life is done. And I have only two choices from here. One is accept a defeat and breakdown, or I can come out stronger from here and live the best life I can. And I literally made a decision that I do
Yeah.
not care what she thinks about me, what she wants, what she feels about the other guy, or whatever. I literally gave up on any expectations whatsoever. She lives with me, she doesn't live with me, doesn't matter. I'm going to focus on my health, on my kids. I gave up on a lot of my obvious bad habits. And again, I told her, let's not, which she has been complaining for 19 years, like, I have a habit of smoking, tobacco chewing, and all those things. And I told her that I gave up on a lot of bad things. I had a habit of chewing nails and all those things. So, which she did not like. I gave up on. I said, like as you rightly said in one of your videos, is get the clutter out, get the trash out. So I first thing I did is let me remove all the trash from my life, not for her, not to win her back or anything. It's for myself because she was saying whatever she was saying for my good that I need to stop all these things. So I literally gave up on all the clutter. I went into a state where I've calmed myself down because I want to work on my depression and all those things. And I said, I do not care what she thinks and what she feels. I'm still in my zone. I'm going to be static. If she lives with me, I'll give her a happy life as anybody else who is living around me. I'll treat her nicely. I'm not going to abuse her or not going to call her out on anything or anything. I'll not that I don't want to have any relationship with her. I'll try and keep whatever expectations she may have, but I'm not going to have any expectations from this thing. That was a turning point, I would say, Josh. And then came the Valentine's Day. I surprised her, and I thought, let me take a last shot at you know sharing my feelings to her, because this is where I felt that she's coming closer to me and she's opening up. Because up until week 3 and 4, she was more focused on the other guy. Whatever I did was more practical, in terms of her response. Why are you doing this? This is silly. This is BS. This is, you are doing it for just manipulating me or something. And whatever that guy did, it was more emotional. He's not calling me, or he's disconnected me because I asked him to do so. He's such a big-hearted guy. So every comparison until week 4 was like, he's a hero, I'm a zero. And it was very frustrating. But slowly after week 4, when I got into self-realization, that gap started narrowing down. She started understanding my feelings and all those things. And I thought that Valentine's Day would be a last ditch resort to tell me what's going on in my heart, what's going on in my mind, what I think of her, what I want of her. I surprised her. I took her out. I gave her a nice gift, pendant, and it was a beautiful evening. We opened up our hearts and everything, and we did come close together. Now, this is when I called it a victory. She told me she's not going. She needs time to recover from what has happened, because she still has a lot of feelings for that guy. I mean, it's not that they broke up because of any sad incidents. They broke up because of, because I discovered things. So it was not a, had that been a bad breakup, it would have been easier for me, but it wasn't, unfortunately. So she still has a lot of feelings for that other guy,
Yeah.
and still not there. But at least I can see that she's making effort to make things work. I mean, all the things that she has been ignoring on her part, I can see that she's making effort. I'm making efforts on my part. We both are trying. We still have a long journey to go before we come together, but the victory is there. Decision is made. She's not going. She's trying to recover from this. She told me that she may want to meet that guy one last time to, have a proper closure, whatever, because she doesn't want to leave this uh, in her head or mind for long term in the life. So long story short, this is the journey. I went through in those 8 weeks, and from mid December to mid Feb, and this is where we are right now. To be honest, we are not physical right now still. We do kiss each other, we snuggle, we have intimacy, in the night before we go into the bed and all. And she did tell me that she needs time before she could get physical with me, which I said, okay, you can have your space, you can have your time, and whenever you are ready. I'm in no rush for that, of anything of that sort.
Wow. What a journey, man. And I love that you added the visuals and even, yeah, even like the emblems and that self-realization. Rakesh, like that one is like, that one's hard to teach, right? You can't really teach someone self-realization. So like, but I do want to try to understand, like, you kind of told me how you got there, but were there specific things that you did that facilitated that self-realization?
I did not do anything. As I said, I saw the change in her behavior, the way she talked. Because I'll tell you, and I gave her a CLC letter to explain her, what I felt about the self-realization thing. In fact, I did not even write it for her. I wrote it for myself. Because I was feeling very sad that she's not the same person who was with me. And because I could see that, one, she's such a nice human being at heart, and I know that because we have been married for 19 years, that she cannot break families or anything of that sort. And even if she has to do that, she would be very sensitive about that. And doing this, that guy is also married. He also has 2 kids. She would have broken 2 families. So I told her that, first of all, my Swati wouldn't have done that. Secondly, during this phase, week 1 to 4, she did complain to me a lot of things, that I'm not as rich as him. Like, he can provide me all the comfort in the life. I can travel the world and all those things. I told her that my Swati, she used to be happy in small things, small happinesses, and she used to get excited about it. She was definitely aspirational, ambitious, but she was not crazy about, having the having a rich lifestyle of traveling the world in business class and all those kind of things. So all those factors, I felt like she is not the one, who was with me for 19 years. And that's when I thought that, even though she's here, she's been, I called her brainwashed, but not exactly brainwashed, but she's been tuned differently. And as I said, the other most important factor is, anything that I said or I shared about my emotions, she would talk in a practical way. I mean, the biggest thing was, when I told her about my depression, that, I'm in depression. She told me that, hey, you need to be, why are you acting like a victim? She would have never done that before. she would have told me that, Rakesh, I understand where, what you are going through. Maybe I don't totally understand it, but let's see what we can do about it. That was like a last nail in the coffin for me. I said, she's she's not the one, at least for me. And I know the reason why she's there. I'm not blaming her, but that's the point. I told myself that my spouse is dead, and I'll have to do the best I can for my kids and the person who is now living with me. uh, you know, uh, to make sure that I can give as much best I can for the rest of my life.
Mm, that's really well said. Um,
Um,
so for you, on this journey together, this forward process, do you think it's just more of the same, or is there some other obstacles you feel like you still need to overcome?
I think, as I told you, one biggest obstacle is she's still in dual mindset. We have good and bad days. I mean, good days in the sense she comes back to me and she asks me, how is your depression? Because I'm still going through it, Josh, as we speak. Because it's like a kind of a trauma that has gone in my mind. I get scary dreams, I'll tell you honestly. I mean, I can see that guy sitting on my chest in the night and laughing at me that you are a loser. You know, you don't know what you lost or something like that. I get a lot of bad dreams, still because of that trauma. So for me, I have to come out of depression. Secondly, for her, it's a as you said, it's a eight kind of thing. Good and bad days. One day she's with me completely emotionally. That what's going on with you? How can I help you? Let's get over this because my depression is causing her more guilt. She's feeling more bad about what I have to go through, and I'm trying to hide as much as possible. But then in depression, Josh, you start crying for no reason. You start laughing for no reasons, and she can see all that thing. So that is one thing, and definitely on some days I can literally see that she doesn't tell me, but she's lost in thoughts of that other guy. Like I don't know what the thoughts are because she's definitely not telling me not to hurt me any further, but I can see it on her face, or maybe once when we see some romantic movie or something of that sort of series or something, and some scene pops up, I can see a change on in her face completely. When that pops up. So she is there, not completely there, and she has told me clearly she needs time for that, and she has acknowledged that. Again, she just told me the final result. She doesn't tell me the reason why she needs time and all those things, and I understand why they need time. I mean, emotions cannot be killed or it cannot be shut off. It's not like a switch on or off that I can tell her now forget that guy and just be with.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And so it sounds like for you, Rakesh, the biggest thing is battling the depression and overcoming it. And your ability to do so will be equal to her positive feelings towards you. Because if you can feel positive within yourself and confident and um, just in a good mood, that mood will affect her in a positive way as well. Because I imagine the more depressed you are, the more she kind of gets affected as well, and vice versa.
Agreed, Josh. I mean, I'll tell you that Valentine's Day was better Valentine's Day than the 19 years we had. Any Valentine's Day or for that anniversary or anything. I'll tell you, we we spoke like anything. We laughed. We were like more in limerence, I would say. In fact, we are going through limerence right now, Josh. I can see that because every night, a couple of nights during depression, when I got that this self realization phase, I myself moved out of from the bedroom. I started sleeping in another room and all. And then she told me that, hey, Rakesh, I miss our hugs, nightly hugs. I cannot sleep well. So I can see that oxytocin, as you say, flowing in her mind that she needs it now. She waits for me in the bed. It's not that we have a long time. It's 10, 15 minutes. We snuggle, we talk. The course of the day, I run my hand through her head, through her hair, and everything. Just to calm her down a little bit. She's getting used to all those things. So I do agree with you that that is what I'm working on right now to suppress my depression as much as possible. In fact, honestly, right now for me priority is depression because I know that's coming in my way of relationship with her, in my way of relationship with my kids as well, because kids have started noticing change in me as well there. I mean, my son, who as I told you is junior, he told me a couple of times that you don't sound as strong as you were what you were before. So it is impacting me, and definitely that is one thing I want to work on, and I want to do that. But again, Josh, she's really appreciative of the fact that she has seen changes in me. She is worried about being these things temporarily. As I told you, smoking and all. I mean, we had several fights in 19 years about all those topics, and I never did that. And she's like, you may have stopped 20 times in in the past. This could be just the next 21st time for it. So I told her, I don't need to justify you, because this time, those 20 times I stopped for you, this is the time I'm doing all these changes for myself. I do
Mm,
not care what the end result is. Even if after 2 months you decide to leave me and go, I'm not going to change, because these. I literally told her, for me, that chapter one is closed, which was written by somebody else. I'm putting the blame on others. I know, but that chapter one, the ending was written by somebody else. I want to end that chapter. I want to start a chapter two, wherein I am the writer of my story.
wow, that's amazing. Yeah, and I think honestly, like whether she verbally says this to you or not, one of the biggest reasons why there's this connection piece is I think she noticed that these changes were for yourself, and they
Right,
weren't for her to manipulate her, or
right.
yeah, absolutely. One last question I like to ask guys just is if you now on week 9 or 10 where you're at right now could give some advice to yourself on day 0, what would you tell yourself that you needed to hear in that moment?
I think the one thing I would advise myself is respect what you have. Honestly, I did not respect, you know, I'll tell you very honestly, my wife is very beautiful. She's very charming. Like, if she's in presence of 10 people, you can feel her presence. She's so charming. In fact, I'm more of a reserved guy, I would say. She's a party charmer. She attracts people because of, not just because of her looks or anything, but the way she talks and all. She's amazing. I never respected that. I thought, like, that is given to me. We got married. It's mine now. It's given to me. All those elements and all. So she's good. I think that is one thing. Though, if I had respected what I got and nurtured that, I wouldn't have been in this situation. I mean, that is a long story short. There's a lot of things underlying, that I could have done this, that, but I think those are the two things: respect and nurturing what you had. And I think somewhere I read relationship is like, exercising, and I think you also said it right. You cannot stop. Like, you get a perfect body shape and then you are done. You have to keep on nurturing, you have to keep on working on it, which is what I did not do. We did it initially 4 5 years of marriage, but then I just let it go. I was like, this is normal now.
Absolutely. I love that metaphor. And I'm glad that stuck with you. It's an iterative process, right? It's not something that you just achieve. And it's like, all right, a lot of guys think it's like, all right, the ring's on her finger. She's mine. I don't need to do anything. But yeah,
Right.
that's not the way it works. So man, Rakesh, I'm so proud of you and this journey you're in. And I think for the next steps, yeah, it's continue doing what you're doing, continue this process of insight, self-realization, growth, and do it for you, right? And making sure that you want to be, when you look in the mirror, yeah, you want to be happy with who you see, right, on the other side. And that continual process is just it's the whole reason why we do this. And I love that you know that. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask me or talk about
So
before we
I
wrap
think
up?
just sense, Josh, again, from what I learned, right, and what I see on a lot of these Facebook posts about people, sharing their experiences. I don't want to sound too harsh or comment something on somebody, but I think people need to realize that, and that is what something helped me. That, do not gauge your wins or successes based on what you see, right? This is just like, keep doing, keep working on yourself, and don't worry about the results. Like, a day may be good and day may be bad. Ignore it. I mean, they are there because in that case, you are waiting for a validation from somebody to say that what you are doing is right. Forget it. As I said, I went literally into a monk state. I told her I do not care. Even if she doesn't trust me that I've stopped all my bad habits for good reasons or something, I do not care. I do not need that validation from you. I'm doing this for myself. And I literally told her, and she felt good about it, about, the way I confidently spoke to her. But I actually meant it. I mean, all these things I'm doing is for me. I do not care about outcome. I do not care whether she has come closer to me or she has gone farther away from me or nothing. I do not care. Yeah. So I think that is one thing I wanted to share with the team, or all our friends who are going through this journey.
You really learned the lesson that the thing I say over and over again, which is, you wanted your wife in your life, but you didn't need her, right? And she
Right.
felt that, and that's what brought her back.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Ah, well said, Rakesh. I really
So I
appreciate you.
cannot thank you enough for for all all the help that you and your team has given me. They are fabulous. What you have, course where you've designed is good. I think there's a lot of opportunity of improvement there, and I'm sure you're doing it, working on it, as you are learning new experiences and all those things. But this is amazing. Keep doing the good work that you guys are doing, and reach out to me if there is any help or any support that I can provide from my end at any point in time.
Absolutely. And I really do appreciate you, Rakesh. And yeah, don't be a stranger. One of the things that I say over and over again as well is this continual process of learning. I mean, this is the reason why I'm not horrible at relationships anymore, is because I teach men every day, right? And so, coming into the community once in a while, helping guys out, it reinforces those ideas in yourself.
Agreed.
All right, Rakesh. Take care, man. Thank you.
Thank you again for everything, Josh. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye.